discussing today is more generic, but yeah, if you have any specific topics or specific question, we can have it at the end of the presentation. But I'll just cover like highlights. So like in MuleSoft, we have this platform called Anypoint platform, so which is a unified platform for API where we can do everything like managing, developing, designing, deploying, everything. The full API lifecycle we can do on Anypoint platform. And then we have API-led connectivity approach. So it is nothing but an architectural approach where what we have reusable APIs like system layer, process layer, experience layer. They all fall into this approach. Um, with that, we create a API network where the different APIs will talk to each other and uh, yeah, basically integrating the data which are in the silos. And then we have pre-built artifacts. So with MuleSoft, we get an advantage of different kind of connectors, accelerators, artifacts, lot of documentations and everything, which are pre-built for us. So if we have a use case which is very generic or common, we can just use those. We can just download them from Exchange and modifying it according to ourselves. There are different connectors already built for, and it also gives us an opportunity to build our own custom connectors as well. So yeah, that solves the most of our problem while connecting to different system. And then the topics which we're discussing earlier, right, the API life cycle. So if you see on uh, right hand side bottom, we have develop and test, right? But before that, we have design. So as soon as we get any requirement or anything, right? But where we can do the design specs for our APIs is API designer. So that's a part of any point platform, and where we design our RAML and everything. Then we have flow designer. Flow designer is nothing but like a on any platform itself. We if we have like a not a complex integration, a few, so we can just with drag and drop the components and run it right there. We don't need any studio or anything. And then we have mocking services. For example, if you're developing a REST API that will take some time for the implementation, you can just provide request and response and turn on the mocking service and give that URL to the third party or whoever needs it, so that they don't stop themselves in while, or they don't wait while we actually implement the logic. So that's your. And then we have API console to check the our API. Then all these are part of design, prototype, validate, and feedback and publish are in the Anypoint Exchange. Anypoint Exchange is very crucial. Like in a big organization, if you are already integrating with some of the systems, and might not be aware that already there is an integration exists. For example, you are connecting with any finance system which is on SCP. There might be any system API before you actually trying to develop it, so that you can see in Endpoint Exchange. All APIs will be listed there, and you can see who is the API owner, when it was deployed, what are the different operations it can handle, what different data, all the documentation, everything will be any point will be in the Anypoint Exchange. So as soon as we are done with our designing, we can push it in Anypoint Exchange, and we can see everything there. Also some of the connectors, some of the pre-built artifacts will be there in the exchange as well. So it's like a one-stop marketplace for all your integration need. After publishing, of course we have API portals as well. That's like public portal. So for example, if you see uh, portal of any like ICIC bank or any other big companies, they have their own portal. So MuleSoft to give you an opportunity to publish your API on the portals as well. If your organization have a public APIs, like then you can see what are the different operations with different methods and everything, and you can document pretty nice on those portals. So that's about the publishing part. And then on operation part, we have endpoint analytics and API manager. So once your API is fine running. We have to see what is there any error, and who is making request to our calls. So different kind of statistic, different kind of data you might want to collect. If how many errors are there, if our JVM or any our memory, is it working fine. All these you can see in any point monitoring. um, that's a part of analytics and also in API manager as well. Um, Once we have that, then we finally but we deploy, we we develop all our code in Endpoint Studio. That's a Eclipse based IDE, and we have now ACB as well, and Endpoint Code Builder that is on Visual Studio. So we develop that in those IDE and then test it out and deploy, and with the of course with the help of Units, and then deploy it in Runtime Manager. So Runtime Manager is nothing but like and it's a part of any platform component where we deploy our APIs and manage it. Like you can start, stop, and changes some of the values, see the logs and everything in Runtime Manager. So these topics are like very vast. It can be covered in more depth, but like at very high level, this is what we have. Um, so how does these platforms looks like? One platform like this is what it looks like as the home page, like code builder, design center, exchange, whatever we talked about. You can see here RP manager, composer. The design center will look something like this. So we have our APIs here and all the ramble and everything. We can design here, create our. We can use visual based interface to create our APIs, or we can use ramble. So it's very easy to create those APIs. Even a non-technical person would be able to create it from a scratch. And exchange, which we have talked about. So you can see on the screen as well, we have our REST API, different connectors, custom connectors, policies, everything will be listed here in the Anypoint Exchange. And then we have Anypoint Studio, where we can develop everything. We can like we have different connectors. If you see on the right hand side, we have different connectors. So it's a drag and drop interface. So you can just start using it, create the project, and configure them. So it's easy as well. It's like a low code platform, you can say. And then ACB is a new, you can say modern IE, which is based on Visual Studio. So with that, you get all the benefits of Visual Studio, like real time collaboration, and yeah. So it's newly builder with IDE, which MuleSoft have brought it. But still, you can use both of them, Anypoint Studio and Anypoint Code Builder. And with ACB, you get another feature called Einstein feature, where you can write in natural language, like all the prompts. Hey, design me an API. Source will be SAP, target will be database, and it will create you a skeleton, and you don't have to really write anything. So after that, you can just modify it according to your own needs. We have then um, API manager. Anurag, you there?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you want to talk about API manager.
Yeah, so as Piyush explained the API life cycle, and he explained the different components like Anypoint Exchange. Like we started with Design Center, then we went to Anypoint Exchange, then we saw the Anypoint Studio, Anypoint Code Builder, and then we have the Anypoint API Manager. So all are linked. If you are like a beginner for MuleSoft, you don't need to worry what I need to start first. Then after that, what should be the next step? It's automatically defined in the API lifecycle of MuleSoft. You need to first go to Design Center, design your specifications, and give it to business, get the approval, and publish it to Exchange. And there you can do a mocking, and you can give it to your testing team for the testing purpose. For example, if you don't want to, if you don't want to implement now and you want to implement it later, but you can give it that mocking service to your testers, and they can test it, or you can give it to different integration, different systems team, so they can integrate with MuleSoft and they can test if every process is working fine in terms of the error code, success codes that you can do, and then you can move it to Anypoint Manager, API Manager. So API Manager, like, you can manage your APIs. So API needs, if API needs any security, any governance, so you need, when you publish it to API Exchange, okay. So from API Exchange is published and you can manage it through API Manager. So you cannot manage your API through Anypoint Exchange just after publishing. You have to import it into API Manager, and there you can apply policies. You can you can update your latest versions. Like your latest s. You can see your latest assets, okay, and whatever RAML you publish, you can, according to that RAML, everything will be imported over here. And then if you see on the screen, you can see you can apply, means API summary is there. This is the API summary. If you see right left hand side, alerts, contacts, policies, SLA tiers, settings. So all these are different options to govern your API. For example, if you have policies, you can apply different security policies. For example, basic authentication, auth 2, all those policies you can easily define in the policies tab. It's inbuilt. You just need to select the policy, you need to give little bit configurations, and it is up and running. Okay, it's like that. You can define SLATs as well, you can define alerts as well on your API. For example, if your API is failing, if your API is not responding, if there are multiple internal server errors, whatever, you can make, you can apply alerts and you will get it directly into your email address. And now, if I talk about the next one, Anypoint Runtime Manager. So, in Anypoint, can you go back, Pius, 1 second? Yeah, if you see in API Manager, you have a asset version 1.00 and you have an API instance ID. Okay, so this is your API, and now want to you want to deploy it on API Runtime Manager. So how you link your API Runtime Manager and API Manager? API Exchange and API Manager is automatically, by default is linked by backend. You just need to import the API in the API Manager. But when you want to, link API Runtime Manager with the API Manager, you need these two fields: asset version and API instance ID. So when you implement the code using Anypoint Studio or Anypoint Code Builder, there you have to use what's the API gateway. So in the API gateway, you have to enter these two fields value. So when you will give that, then you will deploy to a runtime manager. It will automatically link your API manager with your runtime manager, because the policies you applied on API manager and the context that you apply API manager, that will be directly linked to your API. So like that, we manage our APIs. So Piyush, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So here, if you see, when you, for example, we have Dreamforce 24 employees as API, system API. Okay. So we have that zip, the jar file that we, the implementation file that we implemented using Anypoint Studio. So in Anypoint Studio, when you use Anypoint Studio for the coding, for the implementation of your API, like you are doing some data transformation or whatever, or you are connecting to Salesforce, connecting to NetSuite, connecting to Jira. So all those integrations you have to do using Anypoint Studio, and after doing that, you import as a jar file. That jar file you need to upload over here. If you see the application file, there you need to upload. Just choose a file and upload it and give it a name. So we give this API name as df24 employees hyphen SAPI. Okay, and here also you can select your runtime version, like which runtime version you want to deploy and which Java version you want to deploy, how many workers, how many vcores you want to use. Everything you can give over here. And also we have different tabs, properties inside logging, static IPs. So in logging, if I talk about logging, we have a component in MuleSoft logging component. So inside that we can define categories, and based on that categories means, for example, error. If any error logging, if you want to do any debug logging, so to them we assign a category. That categories we can add into here logging. So only those type of logs you will see in the runtime manager API. Okay, and here we have right hand side the stop and start button as well, so you can manage you if you want to stop your API, you can do it from here. You can even delete this API, but you need to mind that you have a proper access, because whatever components we are defining for all these components, you should means your admin of any point platform should allow you, means should give you the access. So that is a separate component. So they generally don't give to access to all these components to developer, but generally they give it to like kind of technical leads or architects. Okay, so that you need to take care if you are, if you want to check at your organization if you are new to MuleSoft. Okay, so this is all about the Anypoint Runtime Manager. So now next we have Anypoint Composer. So composer and whatever next slides we are now showing to you, it's totally different now, because these are the new products from MuleSoft for automation. Okay, if you want to do automation for any of the tasks, in that we use composer and one more Anypoint robotic process automation. So till the time whatever we explain is a completely different thing, where we just do the integration. But whatever we are explaining now, Anypoint composer and Anypoint processor, like robotic process automation, that is completely different. So even in your team, some of the people will have the knowledge of composer and RPA, but some of them will not have that knowledge. Okay, so for that, like composer, not every automation requires you to be a developer. Okay, so here you don't need any developer skills for the composer. If you are looking for automating your workflows with just some simple clicks, the Anypoint composer can do it for you. So you define the source of your data, you take actions on it, and then deliver to wherever you need to be. So this is simple explanation of a composer. Okay, and you can, if you want more details about the composer, we have different trailhead courses on the Salesforce trailhead page, you can go through. And also we have some certifications also on this composer. Can you move to the next slide, Pius, on the RPA? So no, sorry, RPA. Okay, we have this one only. Okay, so in RPA is the like when you need to take your automation to the next level. Okay, so we use Composer, we have generated like our workflows, but now if we want to take it to the next level, RPA can help us to achieve that. So we can create workflows such like as extracting data from PDF and process it through your APIs. So for example, in a hospital, you have a lot of forms that patients are filling. So instead of doing it manually, you just need to scan those forms, and whenever you scan, it will create a file. That file will be read by RPA, and it will extract the complete content of the form, and it will create a JSON of that, and it will send to our MuleSoft APIs for the further processing. For example, if you want to send this data to different systems or to different, for example, different apps, you can do that. So in that way we use RPA. And for Composer and RPA, there is a certification, hyper automation. So that hyper automation certification basically use these two MuleSoft components, RPA and the Anypoint Composer. Piyush, I think we are done with all the components, and also like we explained the API lifecycle completely. So this is like all about how you can start with the MuleSoft. Now you need to start your journey with MuleSoft. Okay, like because we have explained everything about each component, if you directly jump into the MuleSoft development, or like you want to implement your project with the MuleSoft, you need to take care only these components. Okay, you need to take care, means you need to learn only about these components initially, and you can start with that. And if I talk about the very first component, design center, in design center we work with RAML and OS. So you have to you make you made yourself a little bit kind of about RAML and OS. If you know about RAML and OS, then it's easy. Otherwise, you will face little, problem in that section. But if you know about RAML and OS, how to write it, those API specifications, then you are good to go. And after that, everything is easy for you. Okay, so now you can start your journey with the MuleSoft. You can scan this, uh, and you can connect with the MuleSoft community. There are multiple peoples, there are mentors. You can chase them to learn about different components, or sometimes they give different topics as well. They deliver in different meetups. You can learn from them. You can reach out to them every time, and they are happy to help you. Yeah, Piyush, Piyush, do you want to go ahead to the with the next slides?
Sure, Anurag. So yeah, so as Anurag has told, so you can join with the community. So they are different. Like we have different channels, right? So one is like on the LinkedIn, we have MuleSoft community, and you can scan this QR code, maybe click a photo, and then you will reach to the community page where the community members and community leaders, they keep posting different updates about the product launches or what's happening in the community. And if you have any question, you can post that as well. And then we have local meetup group as well, so all over the world in different cities, in different countries and within different cities, we have meetup groups. So the one we are now is in Delhi. So similarly in different countries we have different groups. So and there will be like leaders who will running these meetups. So you can scan this QR code if you want to join those meetup group, and you will be aware where the meetups are happening, which topic is getting covered each week or month. So you can join those meetup groups as well. And if you are in a city, you can find your meetup group there as well by searching the name. Yeah, so yeah, this is the time for question and answer. So if anyone have any question, please feel free to ask now.
See, they are already aware of these components, but still, if you
Yeah,
have any
any topic,
questions,
not just one, this one, anything,
any,
any.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you have any questions, just let us know. I think that I can see Nikhil is from MuleSoft community, Ranjit, Ujjwal, Karthik. I think first time I saw him. Akshay, I think you joined earlier as well, right, Akshay?
No, this is my first time. Basically,
Um,
I'm trying to my hands on MuleSoft,
okay.
so I'm just like begin to learn. Actually, I'm from like Salesforce background.
Oh, okay. So I hope Karthik, you got it something from our session today. And if you have any questions, still, if you don't have now, if you want to ask later, you can reach out to Piyush or me anytime, or any other community person. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Anurag. Yeah.
I can see Diogo is there. Hi, Diogo. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk. I can see Suman, Madhav, and Mohammed. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me?
Ranjit. Yeah, Ranjit, we can hear you.
Yeah, actually, you told like for the hyper automation, so it's a combination of RPA, like robotic process automation, and anypoint composer, right? So, IDP is different from this because you said the example for the manual processing in hospitals, the various forms and
Mhm.
all. So who we scan there is another component for the intelligent document processing, right? IDP.
IDP, yeah.
Yeah, so that is different, and RPA is different, or that comes under the RPA.
Actually, that is different component only, but it's related to our. It's a combination. When you do IDP, it just scan it and it just create a documentation. That's it. But if you want to send it to your APIs, then you use RPA, like because it will, whatever repeating task you are doing, like scanning all the documentation again and again and again. So for that, IDP will just create that JSON and it will send it to your APIs using RPA.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. I got your point. Okay, thank you now.
If you are preparing for hyper automation, there are multiple, documentations also available from different community people. They have written articles, so you can follow that as well. Okay, let me share you one blog as well. That if I have access, let me see. No, I don't have access right now. But hyper automation is not a product actually. It's just a group of processes that I already told. So we use uh, different components of Salesforce, and like in Salesforce we use Lightning Flows, Flow Orchestrator, and Einstein Bot. And for MuleSoft we use Platform, Composer, and RPA. I think Karthik, you know about Lightning Flows, Flow Orchestrator, and Einstein Bot, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like yesterday also we had a session on the Salesforce, like where they are explaining about this Einstein Copilot. So yeah,
Hmm.
it was a great session actually.
Yeah. So these three components we use from Salesforce and three components from MuleSoft. So these are the combinations. Like this is the kind of hyper automation suite. Okay, so Lightning Flows, if I explain like an automation product provided by Salesforce where an individual having no code experience and create automations on Salesforce side, like uh, screen flows, auto loans flows, triggered flows, something. I'm not more towards Salesforce side, but whatever I have in my mind, I'm letting you know. Same, we have flow orchestrator. I think it have different stages and steps that I'm not sure what is that. Einstein bot is mainly embedded on your experience cloud sites and provides the organization ability to handle customer requests and resolve them without having a human agent. It's kind of chatbots, but it's a different. It's not like a normal chatbots that generally we use. It's a Salesforce product. It's a Salesforce Einstein board that they have used using Chat GPT. They integrated Chat GPT over there. So that is one, and then we have explained you MuleSoft Anypoint platform, RPA, and Composer. And if I talk about the certification, they are total 60 questions, and the passing score is 70%. And certification fees around 200 or $250. So this is like kind of all about hyper automation. Anything else?
Yeah, hi Anurag. I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, you just said right, like the Einstein Copilot one. Is it same as
Einstein
Chat
boat
GPT
actually.
or what?
It's Einstein boat, not Einstein Copilot. It's Einstein boat.
It's Einstein bot. Okay. So
Hmm.
whatever we search means we have searched something that what is the capital of India?
No, no, it doesn't work like that. So you don't compare it with Chat GPT. They implemented over there in terms of Salesforce. So if you want to create a like kind of a, for example, if you kind to create a flow,
Yeah,
so you
creating a
just
flow and something else. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it will create you. Yeah, for example, any point code builder. In any point code builder also we have
Mm-hmm.
Einstein. So there we can define like, hey, I want to integrate with Salesforce. So what it will do, it will automatically create a flow for you. And there you just need to add some configurations about your Salesforce connections. So it's something like that. But maybe Karthik is here from Salesforce. Karthik, can you explain a little bit more about Einstein bot in terms of Salesforce?
Sorry, I'm not from Salesforce, so I am from MuleSoft only. But
No, no,
yeah,
my main question was right. It's the concept is same like ChatGPT and either
Hmm.
Einstein bot or your Copilot.
Uh, Sorry, can you come again?
Means the concept is same. Means we can search anything in the ChatGPT to write.
You can search
But
like when you are searching in ChatGPT in the same way you can search in Salesforce Einstein board, but only with respect to processes.
yes, but in the terms of Salesforce terms, whichever is configured there, okay.
Yes, correct, correct.
Okay, okay, okay.
And you
And
can make
means
use of builder as well, design your own prompts.
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Hmm.
correct, correct. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it will take the action based on the inputs and everything. You can design flow, like for example, if someone is asking when my order will be delivered, right? So you're creating APIs like MuleSoft API and then connecting them in the flow. And it in natural languages, like when you are entering the prompt, so it will take the input and give the output. So you have to train it a little bit. That's what designs and copilot and all this will help you in building. So if any customer using natural language to ask any question, right, regarding that, so it will give you an output. So that's what it will be like used for in making your own prompts and
Okay.
processes.
Right, right, got it. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, I think then we are good. If
Hello.
anyone have any questions, they can
Hi,
ask.
Anurag.
Hey, hi.
Uh, I have a doubt on migration. Usually, we used to migrate from Mule 3 to Mule 4, right, using MMA. Is there any other tool for migration from Dell Boomi or Workato or Tupco?
Well, there is no tool for MuleSoft side. Like your question about MMA is specific to Mule 3 to Mule 4, but
Yeah, yeah.
Mule 3 support is gone now, and MMA is was kind of not that mature project from
Okay.
MuleSoft. So you do like kind of your self manual migration, Mule 3 to Mule 4. And also if you want to migrate Boomi to MuleSoft, MuleSoft to Boomi, so for that also there is no kind of a tool in the market, but means different organizations they created their own assets to migrate it, but it's not public.
Is there any documentation on this?
No, it's as I said, it's like their own assets.
Okay.
So they don't make it public because if you want to use it, you have to pay.
Okay.
So, for example, if your organization want to migrate from Boomi to MuleSoft, and you are working with Infosys, TCS, so Infosys or TCS have their own assets to migrate like this, so they means they charge accordingly.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi Anurag.
I
So I do have one question. So is there any MuleSoft component or any MuleSoft tool which we can have, which will help to do the code review, whether my code is following the best practices or not?
Well, we can do the code review, but we can use a kind of we have use the best practices or not. I think we can use Sonar Cube where it check all the kind of where we can write a script. I never did it, but I heard that Sonar we can use Sonar Cube and we write some script, Groovy script over there, and we implement it with the MuleSoft. So whenever do you run your program or you deploy your implementation, it go through Sonar Cube, and it tests every naming conventions of your flows and of your files, and it let you know like if you are following the best practices or not. But in terms of complete code review, tell me, if you ask me, for example, data view transformations, then definitely not.
Yeah, so I added to it like Lint and Sonar Cube. You can integrate it with your pipelines. So
Yeah.
once you're done with your code, it will check, our static analysis and everything it will do. And in platform side, you can have governance. You can set certain rules for your API specs and policies and everything. So before publishing it, you have to meet certain rules and certain standards. So that there you can implement in the endpoint governance side.
Yeah, but not complete code review. So just the best practices, usual.
Thank you so much, Anurag. Thank you so much. Piyush.
If you want any specific, if you want this kind of Sonar cube script, then I think we can help in this. We implemented in one of the projects. So if you want that, I can help you. Maybe I think Piyush, do you also have some script on Sonar
No,
cube?
I don't have it on her.
So I think I can search it out usual if you want, and we can provide that.
But basically, with respect to SonarCube, I know, but yeah, just I'm just searching with respect to MuleSoft component. Is there any Mule component like Anypoint Code Builder? Is Anypoint Code Builder has an ability to do the code review or not like that? That
Well, they are, they are doing different releases per quarter, but I'm not sure if they have implemented it or not. But I will check and I will update you later. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I can ask to the product team and will let you know, because Anypoint Code Builder recently came, and even we didn't, we didn't start with that. So I'm not sure if they implemented this feature or not. So if you want more details, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and just ping me, and I will give you the updates, latest updates.
sure.
For SonarQube, MuleSoft has released a plugin. So yeah, I think Anurag can help you with that.
Yeah.
It's official with that MuleSoft.
Yep. Correct.
Any further question, anyone?
So, usually you work for Lendis, right?
No, no, no.
Okay. We're just searching you on the LinkedIn to give you the update. No problem. Just share. Send me a link means request. I will update you.
Sure, sure.
Anyone else have any question? You guys can unmute yourself. I have already given access to everyone. All right. Then we are good, Piyush, and we can wrap up this call then.
Yeah, before that,
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. And thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.